Well, this is just about the biggest episode we'll have all season with Distillery. The top three all go head to head, separated by 4 points. The first game between us and Portadown, two leaders on the same number of points. And we're starting to attract the interest of other clubs, something we can be incredibly proud of. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 30 of our Build a Nation Save Lifting Spirits from Distillery with me, Daniel. As you can see from the table here, we've got ourselves in one hell of a title race. Level on points with Portadown after about half the season. Bangor just 4 points behind. And guess what? We go away to both of those teams in today's episode. It is a proper top of the table trio, and it is going to be two games that are borderline season defining at this point. So if you're looking forward to finding out how we get on and what's been happening at the club, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. We've had a little crisis, we've bounced back in style, and we're of course going to be losing Dylan McLean soon as well. But we'll reflect on all that at the moment. If you've missed the head coach save, that one's in the eye above too. Thank you as always for your incredible support. But let's talk about what's going on here, because we come into this big spell of the season and things, yes, are looking good at the moment. There's still the same tight division, 15 points separating the relegation playoff and top, and no one is averaging 2 points a game. So last year you had Ballymena running away by a mile. Now without that team in the league, it is so tense, and I can see this going all the way to the wire. We have, though, got to talk about something that happened last week. And we're going to go back to it very quickly, because it was a very big moment in this series, and it happened twice as well. Because same screen, but 6 days earlier, the 7th of December, and we had a job interview offer from Dungannon. Of course, the pre-season massive, overwhelming favourites for the title. They've had a poor year, they're in the bottom half. We also had a job interview offer from Loughborough, and neither of those jobs we've applied for or even looked at. So really impressive signs that Dungannon, the side that are expected to come up from this division, are looking at us and saying we're the answer. However, for those of you that were here all the way back in FM19 and the head coach, you'll know we've got a bit of a checkered past with that football club. So no can do, this is a one club save. But of course, the one thing we are looking at later down the line is maybe getting the Northern Ireland job, trying to progress the nation that way. So to see that there are other clubs interested in our services, that's definitely a good sign for the future. But with that news out the way, let's go and get back to match day, because we've got two very big games that will define where we're going to be this season. It looks like a playoff place is likely, but is promotion going to be on the horizon? These two games will give us an indication. Let's go and reflect on our form and then go and get into the first of them. So before we go and get into this game, of course, the last one you saw on camera was against today's opponent's Portadown. It was a ridiculous 4-4 draw, and that is the thing ultimately that is keeping us level on points at the top at the moment. But since then, we've had some weird little runs. We've had frustration, we've had a brief return of 1-0 to the Distillery again, and we've also had a really sticky run, which came straight after the last episode. So after you were with me for that 4-4 draw, we then drew 0-0 away at Queen's University, who were bottom at the time. No idea where they are now. They are second bottom of the table, only Loughborough below them, who have of course offered us an interview in times gone by. We then lost 3-0 at home to Dungannon, one of their few good performances earlier in the season, and 2-1 at home to Annie United, Kofi Orkin opening the scoring and then us throwing it away. So it was a terrible run of games, let's be honest. We went from being really rock solid at the back, scoring goals, Leon Boyd being in form, to just drying up in front of goal and letting in goals galore. A terrible combo. But then what happened after that was a bit of a miracle. We produced this stunning performance against Ballina Millard. Half time it was 0-0. I went positive. I pushed the lads. James Convey got himself the opener and Leon Boyd found form in style. We then lost 1-0 at home to Glenarvan in the League Cup quarter final, but a really good performance against top tier opposition. Then we started to get the 1-0 to the Distillery, about the same time it came last year. 1-0 away at Ballyclare, Leon Boyd scored the winner. 1-0 away at Dundalk, James Convey scored the winner, and then we held on against 10 men, despite a bit of an iffy performance. We drew 0-0 at home to Ards, but kept the defensive run going, and then beat Loughborough comfortably at the bottom of the league. McGill, Latifa and Convey turned it round there. We went 1-0 down early doors. A 1-1 draw followed away at Institute, Not the worst result in a league this tightly matched, but we did have to wait till the 90th minute for an equaliser. Aidan McDowell producing that one. And then we played a pretty amateur side in the Northern Irish Cup. A 4-1 victory. Ruhi, Grego Cox, Surgener and McDowell for a fully rotated side. And that leads us into these two games with a team that's well rested, a team that's in good shape, but also a team that's a little bit unpredictable. Are we going to be brilliant defensively? Are we going to be superb going forward? I don't know. We're going to start with balanced. We might have to go cautious. I just want to try and stay in the game. So let's go and get through to the fixtures. The first is away at Portadown. Everything's still going well at the club. All the dynamic stuff and that, all very good. Lots of players tied down for 2 years. But of course, if we go and put the team together for today, Dylan McLean is out in a couple of weeks. His contract's almost up. There is no change from his side on that front. We've got a couple of potential successors who are free agents lined up, but it will depend if they're wanted by other clubs, because at the moment, their wage demands are just too high. So let's get the opposition instructions on. Let's go and have a look at the team the assistants picked. I'm going to juggle it around, get my 11 in, and we'll be back in a minute to run through it. And here we go then, just one player from our first 11 unavailable. That's James Convey again, the superstar of the last game against Portadown. That means Oren Crow comes in with his loan expiring in a couple of weeks. I've taken a bit of a gamble in defence too. KLM Reid's been poor for a few games now, and McDowell has been very much the opposite. So he's going to come in and get a regular starting berth. Does give us an option if he does well as well, because McLean obviously off at the end of this month. We'll play him as much as we can before that. What a shame as well with the ability he's got. But it does mean then, if it's going really well, instead of bringing Edgar back in, we can go Reid left back, McDowell centre half, so on. Just shore us up a bit, keep that physical edge in the air, and maybe keep us a bit stronger at the back. But overall, a pretty decent side. We know we've got a goal scorer up front. We know we've got quality throughout. But can we avoid conceding 4 against Portadown? That's the big question. To find out, let's go and get into it with Connor Mitchell in goal. McGill and McLean are fullbacks with McDowell and Ork in centre half. Becht and Levingston in midfield, Crow in just ahead of them. And then Johnston and Latifa on the wings. Johnston having a shocking spell with Leon Boyd up front. The man into the bench today is Jordan Jenkins with Convey out for the night. So let's go and get into it. 2 games that will define this season. We go away to the top side Portadown and in third place Bangor. Let's go and see how we get on. Well, here are the lineups as we head into the first half. David Parkhouse is the key man up front again. We know all the ability he's got. We've got our 4-2-3-1. They're playing 2 up front, and it caused us massive problems in the reverse fixture. We know how tight the table is. We've just encouraged the lads into this one. So let's go and see how we get on. Not many fans in through the gate again, but Portadown, they're down in a second tier again. The fans probably not pleased about that. So let's see how this title race hots up after this week as McLean's in from a free kick, or a corner, early doors. Heads onto the post. It was a cracking effort. We're going to miss that aerial threat as well. Early start for Distillery is good. We're staying balanced. We're not trying to push too much for this one, but we have had a lightning start. Lots of shots on target too. Can we produce the performance when it matters most? Portadown, I think, we're still in one of the cups as well, so might have had a midweek game as Boyd flicks the ball on for Crow. Back to Boyd, into Johnston. He's been in poor form and he's put that one wide. Not the best start for us there. 25 minutes gone, we've played really well, but I just know we're going to regret not taking the chances. Look at those stats. No shots for Portadown, 10 for us, 3 on target. And you can just tell they'll score their first. Connaughty, back to Balday, deflect away from Orkin. Russell back in, McGill hoofs downfield. Boyd will chase it, but he won't get there. First chance for Portadown. They're coming back into this game, and I just feel we're going to regret it because we've had so many chances. We've not yet taken one, or created a brilliant one either. Half time, 0-0 is the score. Pretty eventful game, and actually, a lot more fans on the other side of the pitch. So let's get through the dressing room. So far we're happy because the performance, so much better than last time. The result though, no better. At the start of the game, I'd probably have taken a draw. But this is the way it pulls you in. The way we've played here, I feel we have to take advantage. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Not a lot of chances so far in this one. So at what point do we go for the changes? When do we go attacking? Take off Crow. Bring on Ruhi as a playmaker. Or do we stick? Stick or twist is the big question here. And it's a Portadown free kick. I don't know what Boyd's doing out there. Do not punish us. We've been so good. Back to Sally. And that is some of the worst set-piece marking you'll ever see. I've deliberately set it up with 2 players defending the edge of the area. One of them just ghosts in from there, and they've done nothing about it. So now, despite one of our best performances of the season, we're going to have to go aggressive. We'll go and make the changes. We'll be back in a minute to chase the game. Not the position we wanted to be in. Well, 3 changes to start us off. We've got Grego Cox on the left. He'll switch flanks with Latifa. Rui is on as the playmaker and Edgar is on left back. There's 2 more to throw on if we need them later doors, but how on earth are we losing this game again? It's one of those questions we keep asking. Let's encourage the lads. Let's go a bit more attacking now, but they'll probably pick us off on the counter. We've got 10 to go. McDowell's knackered. Let's make sure we've got a fit defence. Keelan Reid is on for him. And then what do we do in the rest of it? McGill could come off for Foster, who's a more aggressive wing-back. I think that's the best option we've got. There are 8 minutes to go. We're on the front foot, but we're not even going to see it. 5 changes made, a really good performance, 20 shots, 7 on target, over 1 expected goal, and we're going to lose 1-0. The cutting edge is defying us when it matters most. The morale has disappeared again for some reason, and Mallon's in. It might be 2. Oh, it would be so harsh. Mitchell saves it. The flag was up anyway. We've got 1 minute of stoppage time to go. One more chance to get the ball forward, and here's Mark Edgar at left back. Chance to carry it forward into Levingston. In the centre circle, up towards Boyd. It's aimless. It's really, really poor, and that cutting edge just isn't there. That final ball, it's disappearing. Latifa's going to get a book in here. It's really poor play. And the game management is costing us. Portadown, undeservedly going 3 points clear at the top. A very different game to last time we played. But they beat us at our own game. They've not been great. And they've done a 1-0 to the Distillery against Distillery. Not the start we wanted. We need to bounce back against Bangor. We'll be back in a moment to see if we can. And here comes the second big game. After the last one, we simply have to bounce back. Portadown have got a very winnable game on paper. They're going to Queen's University. And if we lose this, and if they win Portadown, we will be 6 points behind them and just 1 ahead of Bangor. And potentially just 3 ahead of 4th place, which could be a disaster and a failed objective. So let's go and see the team we can put out today. The positives, we played really well last time. We have been in decent form and we're better defensively, but we've got to find goals. We know that we've got McLean on the way out. We know that Convey's still not fully fit after his knock before. So we're going to have to go same 11. We're going to have to hope we get a super performance, but I don't know where it's coming from. We seem like we're off the pace at the minute. I'm going to take McDowell out for Keelan Reid, switch it back again. Best 11 today, no messing about. Oren Crow stays in. Rue Heat didn't make too much of an impact off the bench, so that's the squad. 1 change from the defeat to Portadown. Let's see if it has an impact. Into the game we go. This is becoming a must win. Certainly a must not lose. And here we go against a Bangor side that I think are summed up pretty much by no superstars but a very good team. Kyle Owens may be the most memorable name in there. Must be getting on a little bit now. But if we go through to the dressing room, go out there and impress us. Most inspired or motivated. Now let's get through the preview, see how they get on. Big home following again. Maybe that's the thing we don't have at this level. That 600-700 fans behind us. So let's go and skip through it. I'm just hopeful we can get a result. I'd love to nick a 1-0. I'd love to be great on the road. But at the moment this season, we haven't done that. We've been consistent against most of the smaller sides, or most of the sides further down the league. And in these games, we've normally been undone. As Orkin finds McGill. On the right, he's cutting narrow, finds Latifa. It is part of our problem at the minute that the 2 wingers have dropped off significantly. Leon Boyd not getting as many chances. Though that's a good ball from Levingston. Johnston back in, is headed away. 3rd time into the box, cleared as far as Beck. He finds Johnston. I really need him to find form. Out to McLean on the left wing. We had the same, if you remember, the year we won the league with Withers. In the 3rd tier, he had brilliant games for 2-3 months, then had 2 months where he couldn't hit a barn door, and then was absolutely brilliant again. It's another game we've had a strong start. It's another game we've had the first shot on target, but it's another one that's still 0-0. We need to take one, as Levingston's got the ball on the right from a throw-in. Chance to cross from the byline. Boyd's up. Boyd heads in. And when we need a big moment, Leon Boyd is so often the man to deliver. A brilliant header from the young striker. And at the moment, he's keeping us in the race. That's what we were missing last year when we were having our poor run. And that's why we're still winning half of these matches. As we've got it on the right again, though the ball's been lost to Coates. Good header from Orkin to Levingston. He cuts inside. He's got space to run into. Shot deflects is straight into Shields. And at the moment, we're on top. But we all know that that doesn't last long in these matches, as Orkin finds Boyd again. Can we go on a rampage, find a really good performance? Recent history would suggest no, but Latifa's put Crow in, not yet scored for us, until now. Oren Crow is off in a week's time, his loan is almost up, and so's Latifa's in fairness, but they combined to score the goal there, and that is the problem in January. We will not have Dylan McLean, we will not have Chris Latifa, but we've got a penalty kick. Who's going to take it? Will it be Leon Boyd? Number 6, that is Levingston who's first up. So let's see how he does. He's had a good game so far. Darragh Levingston, straight down the middle. We have produced an emphatic response to last week. And let's be fair, this could have been the game against Portadown. We played that well in the first half there. The difference is we didn't take our chances. Portadown are drawing at Queen's University, and ironically, we could end up back within one at the top. As Johnston puts the corner into the back post, up goes Orkin, headed away as far as McGill. Back wide to Johnston, across to McLean, and he's leaving with a parting gift as well. Oren Crow and Dylan McLean score on what will be one of their last away games for the club. Latifa's got himself an assist, and even Johnston an assist now. But when we've got to replace 3 of this team in January, things are going to get a bit trickier. Beck heads away to Crow. Levingston picks it up. Surely it's game over at 4-0. We've done nothing different. We haven't really played that different. But now we're 5-0 up. It is a collapse in front of our eyes from Bangor FC. Lisburn Distillery 5-0 in the first half. We were brilliant against Portadown without a goal. If only we could have spread these out and scored 2 or 3 in each. Boyd gets his second. It's 5-0 at the break. And I couldn't be much happier. We're playing well. And that, probably after Portadown, or maybe even just before it, they're the best 2 first half performances of the season. This time we've got a reward. We're going to say we're happy. Now let's go and enjoy the second half. And therein lies the difference, quite simply. 1 expected goal without scoring in the last game. 2 expected goals with 5 scored in this one. And we're just over 25 to go. I think we can start looking at changes now. Who have we got available? So we can definitely bring on Ruhi as the number 10. Oren Crow can go and have a rest there. Or in fact, should I give Levingston a rest? Because he's going to be here all season. Ruhi, advanced playmaker on attack. Kofi Orkin is another one who struggles a bit at times, so we'll bring on Aidan McDowell for him. McGill probably could have a rest, but I'm not going to do that just yet. What else can we do? Boyd on a hat-trick. Don't want to take him off. Latifa's on a yellow. Greg O'Cock's on for him. 3 made for now. We'll leave it 5 more minutes. Don't want to leave us with 10 if we get an injury. But Portadown have scored. That is the big news of the day. They're doing the 1-0 trick again. And at the moment, they're going to stay 3 points clear as Shields has the ball in goal for Bangor. They've definitely gone a bit more defensive this half. And they've stemmed the tide as McDowell heads away. Only as far as Cherry. This is a good opportunity for the host. Loughlin puts it long downfield. Fearon chases. McGill does it really well. Experienced play. Back to the goalkeeper. And Mitchell's got time to throw out to McLean. As Johnston carries it down the left-hand side. Best game he's had for some time. Gets to the byline. The cross is blocked. Up towards Boyd though. Headed away as far as Crow. Down for Greg O'Cox. He picks it up to Ruhi. Gets a second chance after the first pass was poor. Beck left to Johnston. 3 in the middle. Can he find them? Nobody gets a penalty. And surely Leon Boyd takes this one. He's on a hat-trick. They've got to let him have it. It's gone to Greg O'Cox. I mean, I don't mind. As long as we score it, it's happy days. He steps up, emphatically puts that one into the back of the net. A little bit of a glitch after the goal there. But 6-0, 20 to go. Let's give McLean a rest for Tuesday. Mark Edgar on for him. And then who else? Oren Crow maybe, just in case we haven't got Convy fit again. He can be replaced by Jordan Jenkins. We'll get a rare run out as a number 10. Let's confirm the subs. We've got 20 to go. And this has been the day of the season. What a performance. What a result. Now keep the clean sheet. That's all I ask. As O'Connor clears to Anderson. To Fearon. They're still leaving 2 up there. McGill wins it back though. Brilliant defending. Mark Edgar forward to Johnston on halfway. Back to Edgar again. Has time to build, but instead goes back to Reed. Into Beck and back to McDowell. Out wide to McGill. Lovely football. They're not even pressing us now. They're just trying to contain, keep a shape, make sure they don't get embarrassed. And like we had with Ballyclare last year on a final day, what impact can this have on the goal difference? Looking at a top 2 finish rather than top 3, looking at the title race with Portadown, we could definitely make things up now, though Edgar has given the ball away, and we don't want to start conceding. Coyle interference is really poor. And there you go, the substitutes are not as good as the first 11, and that's the problem I've got. We are going to be losing McLean in a couple of weeks' time, and Mark Edgar is not ready to step in. Neither's KLM Reid in truth. 5 to go, we're 6-1 up. It's been an emphatic display. Portadown have won again though, they stayed 3 clear. But it's back to a 2-horse title race. Even if Bangor win the game in hand, the top 3 is basically wrapped up. It's just about how we replace these departing players and whether we can stay up there for the rest of the season. Let's go through the dressing room. We've got to be pleased with that. Now let's go and look at the schedule and see when we're next going to be here. Well, I look at the schedule now and I just feel like we have to show every Portadown game, but we haven't got one for about 3.5 months now, so that isn't going to be next. What we're going to come back for is the return game against Bangor and maybe a game against Loughborough as well, but most importantly, that Bangor game is transfer deadline day. Now, with 3 players leaving the club, we assume Latifa and Crow not willing to discuss permanent deals. That may change if they get released. And of course, Dylan McLean, no chance of him staying. We have got to get good players in to replace them if we want to sustain this title push. If we don't, it's going to be playoffs at best, and then we're going to be in a weaker position. We do not want to finish the season with a weaker squad than we start it. So hopefully we can avoid that. Hopefully you're looking forward to it. I should just say very quickly, we have now got an assistant manager in. Can't remember if I mentioned it last episode, but don't think I did. Sean Southam is on 230 quid a week. He's not as good as Sammy Clingham, but he's solid enough for the level. And just have that voice in the dressing room, someone to give us advice, and an extra coach in the club. It all helps a little bit. So fingers crossed that will aid us as we go on a good run. We will be back on transfer deadline day. Will we be in a title race though? If you did enjoy this episode, an emphatic response to a disappointing start, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe to see how we get on deadline day and for the rest of the season. And for daily content from 2 long-term stories. The head coach will be back tomorrow before this one returns in 2 days' time. And it looks like we're going to have a thrilling climax to the season in both of our long-term saves. All the other links, playlists and the Twitch channel up in the eye above. A massive thank you for your support as always. And I'll see you back here in 2 days' time to see how we've got on in replacing our stars.